this is what happens when you don't take care of things properly. Just kidding. We took good care of it. This actually happened in our move. When we moved up here, you can see how it's broken. I actually broke the outside of the spool. The line got all messed up. So instead of messing with trying to fix this reel, we're actually going to change it over to this reel, and then we're going to respool the line. So we're going to see if we can save a couple of the things off the old one, and stick with us here and we'll put this together and you can see how it's done. So to start with, we're going to go ahead and spin this out and release the old reel from the rod. We'll get them separated here. And just pull that right off. And we'll go ahead and take our nail clippers. This is the best way to cut fishing line. Take your nail clippers, you can get right in tight on your swivels. We'll cut that swivel off there, and then we can reuse this old swivel. We'll just go ahead and reuse it on our new line once we get this new reel put in here. Oh, let's go ahead and get this old one out of the way. Pull this old line out of here. Alright, so this is a Shakespeare rod, and that was a good old Shakespeare Tiger XT reel, but we're going to go ahead and put on this Samurai here. This is a old Daiwa reel. Works really well. A little lighter duty, but it's going to do the trick for us. Get us back in business. We'll go ahead and start by mounting the reel so that it's solid and secure. Feels nice and snug. Alright, so as you can see here on the spool, there's not much string left on here. So we're going to go ahead and just remove all of this from the spool, and we're going to go ahead and spool it with some brand new line that we know is not going to break on us when we hook into that big mighty walleye that we're going to be chasing tomorrow. Alright, she's broke loose. Go ahead and see if we can find the end of this thing. Woo! Get rid of this old spider wire. And this needs to be disposed of so that it don't end up obviously getting tangled up with birds. It's springtime here, so all the birds are making nests. They'll go for this stuff, but it'll end up getting all tangled up on them. We don't want that to happen. We also don't want our dogs to try to eat it or anything, so we're going to go ahead and make sure we get this. This stuff's actually burnable, so we're going to go ahead and just throw it in our fire pit, and then it'll be gone. Alright. Good actions, nice and smooth. Go ahead and tighten our drag up a little bit here so we can have good tension and don't get any knots and snags in our new line. We're going to go ahead and grab some new line out of the old tackle box here and get set up. Stay tuned. Okay, so I went through some of the things in the tackle box, and I want to use this spider line. This is a 24-pound test. We're going after some good fighting walleye. This stuff's a little bit tougher, so they aren't quite as apt to cut it with their teeth. And we're gonna get this stuff spooled in here. We're gonna start by going right up to the end of our fishing rod here, and we're actually gonna feed it right in, starting at the end, and we're just gonna feed it all the way through here till we can get it all the way down through all of these eyelets. We'll just keep on going with it. Get it all the way down here. Then we can tie it onto our spool. Now there's lots of different ways you can do this. I prefer to do cross over my line, and I'll tie it back to itself. I'm going to make a double loop. I'm going to pull that through so it looks just like this. And then I'm going to wrap this back around behind it with a single loop. And the whole thing will pull tight when we put some pressure on that line. And it'll pull right up. See how I got that sticking out there? Pulls right up tight on that other one. And then when we pull it, we got a little lasso here. And that'll hold right down tight on the front of our spool. And we're going to take and trim that excess off with our nail clippers so we don't have anything to snag on our line. Not that it matters, because if we ever get down to that point, we're probably in trouble anyway. Looks like I need some fresh nail clippers. These are not even cutting. Of course, this is 25-pound spider line. Very, very tough line, which is why we're using it. So, all right. And we want to start our spool at the front end of this, because our spool's all the way down right now. So we're literally just going to loop this up into the catch. And it doesn't want to hold on there. This is the toughest part of the spider line. It's so slick, it doesn't like to hold itself in there. All right. There we go. So we're just going to make sure we keep tension on the line so it'll pack right up and down as this spools in and out here. And we're going to put enough on here to be able to have some good ability for trolling, so we can get it out there quite a ways. I don't know exactly how much I'm putting on here, but I'm going to stop it just inside of being flush with the rim of that the basket there on the spool. We don't want it out where it's going to fall off and be too loose when we go to cast and have any problems with it. So just a few more loops here, and we're gonna call it good there. So you can see about how full I've got it here, set in about 1/8 of an inch from being flush with the outer line of the spool. That way it's not too tight. It's not in a position where it's going to be able to catch on anything, because you all know that one of the biggest problems we have as fishermen is especially with an open face reel like this, you open that bail and the spool likes to just let go of all the outer strands. I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here. And there we've got 24-pound spider line. And I've misplaced my swivel, or I knocked it through the hole in the picnic table. Probably laying on the ground. Alright, so there's the swivel. It did fall through down here on the ground. Alright. So we're going to take this swivel, and my line ran away. So we're just hanging out here in northern Michigan, enjoying the cabin, and gonna have a nice little bonfire later tonight. So here's how I tie my swivels on, pass it through there and just spin it a bunch of times, keeping about an inch or so loose at the end. I'm going to tuck that right back through the hole, the eyelet of the line right down here. Pull it through enough that you can hold on to it. Give it a good solid pull, and you see how it just backs everything right up to the swivel. And that is good and solid. The only thing pulling that loose is a small shark, or maybe a dolphin, or a nice heavy pike or walleye, which is what we're going for. So there you have it. Change the reel, redoing the spool, hook that on there, we'll lock it up, and we are back in business. Ready to go.